Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Thursday, April 29th. I'm here with my friends Stephanie and Brandon.
Woo woo.
Should we jump right in?
Let's go.
We're gonna talk NFL draft before we get out of here.
Of course.
Yeah, right before we leave. All right. Jessica Simpson revealed that she doesn't weigh herself. Speaking to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show, she said previous struggles with her weight and body image made her really think about her weight and health in a whole new way. So much so that she ditched her scale. Let's watch.
Well, you tossed that scale out. I mean, you threw it away. You said it was like a Ouija board in church. Bye-bye.
It was like a Ouija board.
Get out.
I have no idea how much I weigh. Like, I just want to feel good and be able to zip my pants up. If I don't, I have another size. I have every size. I've really tried my hardest to not let that define me.
My wife loves Jessica Simpson, and she loves weighing herself like 3 times a day. She's like, I dropped 3 pounds since noon. Like, she didn't drop 3 pounds, but you know what I mean? She wants to weigh herself every day because she's on a diet and she wants to like get her progress. And I'm like, in the beginning, you're going to lose a little water weight. You might bounce back. So like, don't rely on that scale. So I agree with what Jessica Simpson is saying here.
Well, yeah, like you said as well. Also, when you start working out, you'll lose some weight, but then muscle weighs more than fat. So then people get obsessed with, oh, then I've put on weight, but they haven't. It's just that your muscle weighs more if you're really consistent in the gym. But I think weight doesn't matter to me anyway. I never weigh myself. I don't know how much I weigh unless I go to the doctors and then they tell you. I never weigh myself. I don't think it's healthy. I think what's healthy is how you feel, how your clothes fit, and if they make you feel uncomfortable or tight or, you know, whatever. That's what I go off. I never look at a scale.
I don't need a scale to tell me I gain weight. I know I gain weight, which I don't want to get on a scale, and I know I lost weight. I don't need to go on a scale. But some people live by the numbers.
See, I'm with you guys, but yeah, I guess it just it depends on the person. Because with me or with like us, when we're trying to work out, we're not trying to necessarily hit a target weight. I'm not trying to. When I say I'm trying to get ready to be a thirst trap this summer, it's not a target weight. It is a body image. You know what I mean? Like when you look in the mirror and you say, "Hey, I'm a little, you know, I'm a little ripped today." It doesn't mean I'm 220 or 221. But I can see that for someone who may have struggled with weight for a long time, now they go on that fitness journey. They want to be on that scale because they're like, "Dude, I was 270. Now I'm 268. Now I'm 265. That progress is motivation for a lot of people.
Yeah, I have a goal weight in mind, but I don't live every day on this scale. How about playing in the NFL? Did you have to be like, man, I want to get up to 225 because it says on that stat sheet what you are? Does that matter?
Well, our strength and conditioning program kind of told us, hey, I had to be between somewhere around 215 and 222. There was one time I got up to 222. I felt slow. So then I lost weight, but then when I lost that weight, I didn't feel as strong. So it's something where it fluctuates. You kind of have to, you'll know when you're at your top peak, when you're ready for your top performance. But it's just something that fluctuated when I was in the league.
Just a number. All right. Elliott Page is opening up to Oprah about his decision to come out as transgender. In his first TV interview since coming out in December, Elliott tells Oprah why he felt compelled to share his truth with the world. Let's have a look.
For me, I think it is in this time we're in right now, and especially with this, horrible backlash we're seeing towards trans people, particularly trans youth, it really felt imperative to do so.
Elliott also spoke to Oprah about how he feels being his authentic self. Let's watch.
On some level, it feels just like the most miraculous, amazing thing. And it also was just sort of the experience of, oh, there I am. Like, oh, there I am. And a part of me was like, oh my God, why was that so hard?
Elliott's full interview with Oprah airs tomorrow on Apple TV+. Very important stuff.
Big time. And I have a lot of respect for him for that interview, especially what I saw right there, because the other day when we were talking about Caitlyn Jenner, I kept messing up saying he. And for the last 2 days, I think
I did too. Yeah, I don't know. I think I did too. But I know what you're saying. Continue.
The last few days, I felt terrible about it. And one of my friends were like, "It's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up over it about it." But during the George Floyd protests, I saw people on social media that were trans people that were out there marching for Black lives. So I think the reason why it hit me so much is because these people are out there being an ally and advocating for you and the people of color in your community. You could at least get their pronoun right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it hit me hard. And what he is talking about with what the transgender youth is going through, they need someone to look up to and be like, that person is being their true, authentic self. So kudos and salute to Elliott.
Of course, representation, right? It means everything. It means everything. And I don't know if I slipped or not. I probably may have. And it's not disrespect, and I'm not doing it on purpose, and I'm not being malicious, and I don't think you are either. I think it's a learning process, and I think we need to be more comfortable with the pronouns, with different situations. that we're not necessarily used to. So it's a learning curve. And when people jump on other people for making that mistake and it's not malicious in any way, shame on them, because we're all trying to learn, right? If you're trying to learn another language and you get a word wrong and someone jumps on you for that, you're going to be more hesitant not to speak that language. It's the same for anything you're not comfortable with. So pronouns with people being transgender, I think if you're being respectful and trying your best, again, it's not great if you get it wrong, but as long as you're trying and bring it to the table, I respect that, Brandon.
And I'm sure anyone that is LGBTQ watching and hearing you both say that, then I'm sure they'll really be thankful that you're addressing it and saying, yeah, hey, and hands up, and everyone will try better, right? And I think going back to Elliott in that interview with Oprah, it's amazing just to see how far he's come by saying to Oprah, he said, oh, you know, why was it so hard? Now I'm here. But being able to say that sentence, to be in that point where he can look back and be like, why did it take me so long? And now I'm here. It's so easy. I say it's so easy. It's not easy. And I've never been in that position. And I can only imagine. And the things he's had to sacrifice, I'm sure friends he's lost, his partner, his wife, you know, for many years, lots of things he's had to make a lot of change and sacrifice to find his true authentic self. And what a beautiful thing that now he is a face and an advocate, and like he said, for the young trans community to have that and see someone go through those struggles and change their life. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I love any story of inspiration, whether you find a place or whether you find a partner or yourself. You know what I mean? I'm inspired by it all. All right, guys, let's get this one in because it's pretty funny. Adam Sandler had a pretty chill reaction when he was denied a table at an IHOP. So a woman on TikTok posted this video from the restaurant. She didn't recognize the actor and says, it'll be 30-minute wait for a table. He takes it in stride and just walks away. Well, just because he's Adam Sandler, he's supposed to get a table at IHOP? No. He's got to wait like everybody else. Exactly.
And you know what? Seeing people with masks on is hard. You don't know. Sometimes I've had people wave at me and I'm like, hey. And then it's like one of my friends and I'm like, oh, sorry, hi. I don't know.
I mean, I don't get recognized often, but sometimes I'm wearing a hat and a mask and they're like, oh man, I love DBL or whatever. I'm like, how did you recognize me? Sometimes I walk in the house, my wife's like, who are you? I'm like, I'm your husband. What do you mean, who am I?
I thought it was some little game, y'all, a little role reversal you got going on there.
I'm only wearing an apron. What?
But the best part, look at Happy Gilmore right here. Can we bring that back up? Worth around $450 million. The man is wearing a sweatshirt, hoodie, and just looks like an everyday person.
It's a North Face, though.
That's what I love about Adam Sandler. You can still go to IHOP. He's never lost himself throughout this entire journey. He still goes to plays like pickup games at like YMCAs and all. Just he's a regular person, and I think we need to see more of that. That's why I like this story, because it's like $450 million.
I like that he didn't pull his mask down and go, do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
No, he's always been like that. I mean, he's been in show business forever, but he's always been like that grungy guy, even on talk shows. Very relatable. I think that's why people love him.
That's cool.
All right, coming up on DBL, A-Rod, Kanye, and Bachelor Matt James, they're all dealing with breakups in different ways. We'll tell you how they're coping. And Willow Smith opens up about being polyamorous. What does that mean? Well, we're going to tell you later.
Team is here to cut through some of the misinformation spreading online about the COVID-19 vaccine. So let's verify this question. Will taking drugs like Tylenol or aspirin to suppress a fever affect your immune response to the COVID-19 vaccine? In other words, is taking a pill for pain going to make you less protected? Here are sources: the CDC and two infectious disease experts, Dr. Linda Nabha and Dr. William Schaffner. Both our experts say that the answer is no. Let's start with Dr. Schaffner, who told us via email, quote, dampening side effects will allow you to feel better, but will not diminish your immune response to these strong vaccines. Dr. Nabha agrees.
We really don't want people to feel so uncomfortable that they really can't function through the day.
We also checked with the CDC. On their website, they recommend talking to a doctor, but write the following. You can take these medications to relieve post-vaccination side effects if you have no other medical reasons that prevent you from taking these medications normally. So we can verify that there's just no evidence out there that taking a pill like Tylenol after your vaccine is going to impact your immune response after getting that shot.
Welcome back to DBL. We all handle breakups in our own way, and that is definitely true for some celebrity men out there. First, Kim and Kanye called it quits earlier this year, almost after 7 years of marriage. But the rapper may be finding it hard to let go of his wedding ring, that is. He was captured on DJ Khaled's Instagram with his wedding ring on. Maybe it's an old picture, I don't know. If you zoom in, you can see there, it's definitely a ring on that finger. All right, and A-Rod is showing off some weight loss since splitting from J-Lo. He captioned his before and after photo with, quote, left the dad bod in 2020. Oh, look at you. And Bachelor Matt James and his former love, Rachel Kirkconnell, just can't seem to quit each other. They broke up after racially insensitive photos of Rachel went public, but now Matt tells People magazine that he is focusing on a relationship with her and only her.
Brandon's definitely
Three things for the Kanye thing. Kanye, looking at his hand, it looks like he still has it on because the ring isn't coming off. It looks like his hand looks a little big right there, you know? It looks a little tight right there. So that's one. A-Rod looks like he's ready to get back into those streets without having to do TikTok relationship videos, because he seemed like he was tired of doing TikTok videos with J-Lo. Last but not least, Matt. You knew they were going to get back together. They did all that just to hype up the show. That's all the theatrics. She was a cool girl. That was a good girl for him. Good for him.
You got to think, though, for the Bachelor couple, those are just two normal people, not used to the spotlight, right? And when they're thrust into that and then such a big issue fell on their shoulders, that's a lot for someone to handle in that fast of time, right? So things settled, the dust settled, and maybe they're like, hey, you know what? We really do like each other, and all that was kind of a distraction from that, but now we do. So I kind of like that last story.
No, I think so too, and they seem very happy and good for them. With A-Rod, and he's out in them streets. What streets is he on?
The streets he's always been in. It's A-Rod.
I think he's out in the streets of Charleston because he's with that girl from Southern Charm.
Madison.
And how long until he cheats on her?
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. The streets. When I say the streets, I don't mean he's broke or anything. Like no. I mean streets like he's back in that. He's on the prowl again.
He looks good. He looks good. And like, you know, sometimes when you get in a relationship, you do put on weight because you're happy and you let yourself go. But what I don't understand is how A-Rod did get a bit happy when he's with J-Lo, because all she eats is thin air and works out 20 million times a day.
Maybe he was depressed, and I'm not throwing a shot at J-Lo, but people get depressed in relationships.
They always seem to be in the gym together and stuff, didn't they?
That's all for the gram.
Because she probably made him.
You think?
She probably she's a powerful woman. Like, I was having this conversation with some of my female friends over the weekend, and I was like, how? Why are men are they scared to be with J-Lo? Is it a power thing? And I think it was one of those things where A-Rod was just like, he was tired of someone just grabbing her and be like, hey, let's go get on the Norder track. You know, like she does a lot sometimes. I feel like
they even had like, didn't they have a set of gyms in their name or something? They were like,
what if it was A-Rod's fault? He was messing around with that girl from Southern Charm.
I was gonna say,
air quotes, allegedly.
It's not looking great for him, is it? But I mean, good for him if he's lost some weight and he's feeling good. And as Brandon said, he's out in them streets. I'm happy for him.
And he wants to sleep with people while he's in a relationship.
Allegedly.
We're going to be right back.
Probably.
Coming up on DBL, Willow Smith is getting real about her sexuality, saying she's polyamorous. We're going to dive deep into that coming up.
Gas stations nationwide are bracing for fuel shortages, but it's not because of lack of gasoline. Let's connect the dots. The problem? There aren't enough truck drivers to get that gasoline to gas stations. New data shows a quarter of all tank trucks are not in use right now because there simply aren't enough qualified drivers. The pandemic pushed many drivers into early retirement. Plus, not just anybody can be a tank truck driver. It requires special certification and weeks of training even after being hired. Many driving schools shut down during the pandemic, cutting down the pool of new drivers. Experts say vacation hotspots like Florida are most likely to see the shortages. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Will and Jada Smith's daughter Willow says she considers herself polyamorous. On a recent episode of Red Table Talk, she said she is open to having relationships with multiple partners. Let's watch.
With polyamory, I feel like the main foundation is the freedom to be able to create a relationship style that works for you. And not just stepping into monogamy because that's what everyone around you says is the right thing to do.
Right.
So I was like, how can I structure the way that I approach relationships with that in mind?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is polyamorous mean multiple relationships at the same time?
Yeah.
So you could be with any, I don't know if I...
So you could have multiple people like that you're all dating and sharing at the same time.
When you think of polyamorous, I'm not throwing, so you think of like the Mormons, right, in Utah, and it kind of gets a bad rap.
Yeah, but I mean, she's not saying she's going to get married to multiple people or be with someone who's married to multiple people. I think she means like serial dating and sharing of relationships.
Oh, so I'm thinking of polygamy.
Polygamy,
Or you're thinking of polygamy.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yes.
we're breaking it down. We're breaking it down, Brandon, just like we said.
Well, in that case, you could throw my cards out there because I had notes on polygamy. So I didn't have it.
That's illegal, because obviously that's illegal.
Those like
right?
relationships.
Maybe they could tell us. What is polygamy then? You're married to multiple people, and polyamorous means you're dating multiple people?
Were they going to?
Yeah, I think polygamy, because I read Robert Greene's The Truth, and that's what he was talking about, the polygamy aspect of it, because I thought that I wanted to go into that realm, that world, because I was afraid of monogamy. But what kind of got me away from that is how it's not even about sex anymore. It's about the emotions. Like, you have to deal with two sets or however many people's emotions. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'd rather struggle with monogamy. Like A-Rod.
Struggle with monogamy. But I hear what he's saying. Like, one, it's not fair. There's always going to be a favor, right? Let's just use three as an example.
There's always going to be a favor, or, you know, someone who's getting more attention than the others, and I don't know how I would feel about that. You know?
I don't know. I mean, hey, it works for some people, right?
Oh, yeah,
Especially but for me, I don't know if I could take it.
I wouldn't want to share the person that I'm in a relationship with other people, even if I was with other people too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Because it can work, obviously. If you're in a relationship like that, it works both ways, right?
Yeah.
I just know that, like, I wouldn't want to share that relationship personally.
Yeah.
I want to keep that between me and that person and, you know, really be there for them. And I think there's nothing wrong with having multiple friendships and close friends, but not crossing those lines.
Yeah, and to go off of what you said, Brandon, like, I'm the only one married here. If there was two of them in there, let me use a better example. Let me use a better example. If there was two of me in there, my wife wouldn't be able to take it.
I think that works both ways.
It totally works both ways.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with two of me. Jeez.
Me and my wife always tell each other when we fight, forever is a long time.
Very long time.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Well, look at you.
Fact-checking President Joe Biden's address and Senator Tim Scott's response. Our fact-checkers combed through the president's address and used vetted sources to check out some of those claims, like this one.
Senior deaths from COVID-19 are down 80% since January.
This claim is true. We analyzed CDC data of weekly COVID deaths, comparing the numbers from Biden's first full week in office with the most recent complete data sample on April 3rd. We found the death toll for people 65 and older is down almost 87%.
While this was all going on, the economy created more than 1,300,000 new jobs in 100 days. More jobs in the first 100 days than any president on record.
This claim is true. We dug through monthly employment reports from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and found that in Biden's first 100 days, the economy created nearly 1.3 million jobs, just as he claimed. As for how it compares to other presidents, well, the data only dates back to 1994, but it shows that far more jobs were created under Biden than the first 100 days of Presidents Trump, Obama, and George W. Bush. It's important to note that the U.S. lost more than 9 million jobs in 2020 after COVID hit. We also dug through Senator Tim Scott's rebuttal.
Just before COVID, we had the most inclusive economy in my lifetime, the lowest unemployment rates ever recorded for African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians, and a 70-year low nearly for women.
This claim is true. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows for African Americans, the 24 months of lowest unemployment were between 2018 and 2020, right before COVID. For Hispanic Americans, the 10 lowest were in that same time frame, as were 4 of the 5 lowest for Asian Americans. And women saw 2 of their lowest unemployment months, topped only by months in 1952 and 1953. So that lines up with Senator Scott's claim. With your Verify, I'm Gabe Cohen.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for some sweet, sweet deals. Earlier, I showed Tori some amazing products at even better prices. Here's this week's DBL Deal Blast presented by MorningSave.com.
What do you have for us today, Stephanie?
Hey Tori, I'm here with some great products and deals just for you guys. So first up, I've got the perfect item to add a little bit of colour in the bedroom. It's the Bib Home Reversible Two-Tone All-Season Down Alternative Comforter. So normally it's as much as $99.
Ooh, that's
We've got it for only $29. Saving up to 71%. This is a really easy way to keep your allergies at bay.
Great price.
Oh, yes. Whew. Okay, next up, we've got something that will take your look up a notch.
Oh.
It's the Diamond Muse 1/10 of a carat diamond two-tone diamond heart link bolo bracelet. So normally it's as much as $105.
I mean,
it's
it.
diamonds.
I mean, it's diamonds, yeah.
Diamonds. We've got it for only $39. Saving up to 63%. I just adore these. I think they're beautiful.
2 words, Mother's Day.
Okay, next up, I've got something that's a must-have in anyone's skin routine. It's the Avani Supreme Magnetic Mud Mask.
Whoa.
Normally, this is as much as $100.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
It makes sense. There's a lot of good things in there. We've got it for only $15. Saving up to 85%.
I love good savings on skincare because it's so pricey, you guys, and it's so worth it. That's such a good price for something you really would use all the time.
Okay, lastly, Tori, if you are like me, which I know you are, and you've got a green thumb, you've got a garden, and do you know what goes well with it this time of year? I'll tell you, it's the Midwest Gloves and Gear Growing Rack Greenhouse.
Wow.
So normally it's as much as $68, which I think is reasonable for what you're getting. We've got it for $34, saving 50%.
This is my savings dance, dance. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com right on your smartphone while you're lounging. Thank you so much, Steph.
I knew it. I said to Tori, Jeff is going to want that indoor greenhouse
100%.
device.
I just built my own herb garden in the backyard.
I knew it.
Last week. I'm just finishing it up.
What you gonna grow in there, Jeff? We're in Colorado.
Yeah.
What you gonna
Hey, I
grow
can
in
grow
there,
whatever
Jeff?
I want. It's legal. But no, just like I love to cook, so I'm just going to put the herbs in there.
Yeah.
But it gets cold here in Denver, so you can't
Exactly.
plant them before to freeze. But if I have that bad boy backstage,
You can zip it up and you can it undoes and you can it's got so many shelves in there. You can do rosemary. You can do
sage.
You can do all
I'm aware
sorts.
of the herbs.
Parsley.
Oh, I'm so pumped. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
Thank you.